Alec Baldwin is being sued right now by Halyna Hutchins' family for that unfortunate accident that took place on the set of the American Western film called Rust. On top of that, lawyers representing the cinematographer have also released an animation that fully details their allegations on how all of this took place. On October 21st, 2021, Alec Baldwin had accidentally fired off a prop revolver while preparing for a rehearsal. The projectile ended up injuring director Stiuso and taking the life of Halyna Hutchins. In the first interview after this tragic accident, the actor defended his actions and denied any responsibility for what happened because he assumed that the revolver being handed to him was empty, or at the very least filled with dummy rounds. During his interview, Alec said to ABC's George Stephanopoulos, "I feel that someone is responsible for what happened, and I can't say who that is, but I know it's not me." He then added that if he felt he was responsible, he may have taken his own life, adding that he doesn't say that lightly. Recounting the immediate aftermath of what happened, an emotional Alec Baldwin said, "She goes down. I thought to myself, did she faint? The notion that there was a live round in that weapon did not dawn on me till probably 45 minutes to an hour later. She's laying there and I go, did she get hit by a wadding? Was there a blank? No one could understand." Baldwin also defended his past record of safety when it comes to having firearms on set, saying that throughout his entire career he has always trusted the prop experts on his films to make sure that the set was safe. Despite how Alec feels though about the situation and what he believes should have happened, it was announced on February 15th that Halyna's husband Matthew would be suing Alec, alongside many others that were also involved with this incident. The new animated recreation, as I mentioned earlier, was put together by Halyna's family and their representation. It is meant to recreate what they believe took place that day. In the animated video, the scene starts outside of the church where they were filming. The video then takes us inside the church where we see a character modeled after assistant director Dave Halls. He then hands Alec the revolver, and before the scene starts, Alec tucks the prop weapon into the left side of his jacket. Mr. Baldwin then takes a seat on one of the church pews and waits for the rehearsals to start. The camera then turns 180 degrees and we see 4 individuals behind the camera. Halyna is on Alec Baldwin's left with Stiuso behind her, and then 2 more crew members are to his right and behind the camera as well. The animated video then cuts to the actual moment where Alec has his hand up to mock fire the weapon, but when he does it, it suddenly goes off, striking Halyna, who doesn't seem to be very far from where Mr. Baldwin is seated. In the video, the 2 men to the right then begin to help slowly lower Halyna to the floor of the church, and that's where the video cuts off. The video also puts a timestamp of 1:51 p.m. Mountain Time and the location of Bonanza Creek Ranch near Santa Fe, New Mexico. There was also a caption on this video that said, "On the morning where Halyna had been shot, tensions among the crew and cast regarding safety on set were already high and had boiled over that day." A text conversation between an L. Lipper and K. Walter claimed that there had already been 3 accidental discharges on set, with 2 of them happening in one day and the other in week 1. They also alleged that the crew had been warning the production about how unsafe the set was, adding in an email, "During the filming of gunfights on this job, things are often played very fast and loose. So far there have been 2 accidental weapon discharges and 1 accidental special effects explosive that have gone off around the crew between takes," which would be terrifying. Imagine trying to eat your lunch on a movie set and in between takes and a special effects explosive just goes off beside you. This disgruntled crew is even arguing that there had been no safety meetings on these days where accidents had taken place. Plus, there were no explanations as to what to even expect for these dangerous shots that they were filming. This new lawsuit is alleging that Mr. Baldwin and the Rust crew and cast had committed major breaches of industry safety protocols. According to the industry-wide Labor Management Safety Committee and other industry organizations, Baldwin was supposed to be using a replica or rubber prop weapon whenever possible. On top of that, he was also required to only accept the revolver directly from or in the presence of the production's armorer, which would have been Hannah Gutierrez, for which the lawyers are claiming that she wasn't even in the same room when the revolver was handed over. Not only that, but he allegedly did not personally perform or observe a visual inspection of the revolver to confirm that it had contained no live rounds. The lawyers also claimed that the actor had refused weapons training on how to properly perform a cross draw, which they say goes against industry protocol. And a cross draw, for those of you who don't know, is performed by the dominant hand crossing the torso, grasping the revolver, then bringing it back across the torso and pointing it at the target. The animated video demonstration also alleges that Baldwin was a mere 4 feet away from the crew when the weapon went off. The crew were in a direct line of fire and should have had at least protective glass or some other type of protective equipment in front of them. Plus, the camera should have been remotely operated if they knew that a weapon was going to be aimed in its direction. This lawsuit is going to be a massive one because these are only a few of the mistakes that we know about, and it's already a lot. There was an extreme amount of negligence on this set when it came to safety, and now they are paying the price for that. I'd love to hear your thoughts on all this though, because that's all the time we have for today. So stay classy, and I'll see you in the next one.